So you have been working in IT industry and in an international environment for nearly 20 years. And what would be your key takeaway for women willing to grow their career in this fast-changing industry?
First of all, Jelisaveta, thank you very much for having me today. As you said, I could see a lot of really great panelists all along the day, and really rich insights, and obviously this hackathon results show that we have a new generation even more coming, and really energized in working in the tech industry. So thank you again very much for having me today, because I'm really passionate about this discussion and this topic about women in leadership. But to come back to your question, yes, I built my career in the IT, and indeed it's a really, let's say, fast-moving industry. And I would say that the only constant in IT is change. And I am a perfect example of this. I moved through 11 positions during these 20 years. It was different functions, from country marketing manager, I did business intelligence, I built programs internationally. I led teams as a regional marketing leader, but also different positions in terms of geos. I was initially working on Southern Europe, then I led the Russian and CIS market, and more recently I took over this Central and Eastern Europe position. It's where I lead really, I'm really proud to manage a really talented team to, let's say, design the marketing strategy and the operations in Central and Eastern Europe, and we are covering 32 countries. So all in all, what I could say is that, yes, working in the IT industry is fast moving, is challenging, but I get, let's say, what I can share today is my key takeaways, my learnings. One is listen and learn from others, because that's how you keep up with this ongoing changing environment. Second is be excellent in what you do, because that's how I built my credibility and also my self-confidence. And third, it's about, we talked a lot, I heard it a lot today, it's about being bold. It's put yourself out of your comfort zone. Make sure that that you push the limit a little bit further all the time, because that's where you're going to build your new competencies. And what I'm used to say is that what brings us here is not what is going to bring us to the next step. And it's really by building new competencies, knowing more, and expanding our view, that we can really, let's say, drive a rich career. So let's say that's how my key learnings here and in this IT sector. But I would say that post-pandemic, this fast acceleration and digitalization is booming in every sector. It's not only restricted to IT, now in manufacturing, in banking, in education, and many more sectors, digitalization is there. And as a consequence, it has changed also the way we work as a hybrid workplace. This new way of working is now in every sector. So I would say that it's critical for women to stay agile and keep going and keep learning to explore new areas and new opportunities.
And as you mentioned, when we speak about these different ways of work, and the pandemic actually accelerates digitalization, and therefore it transformed the way we work actually, and how these changes are impacting women particularly and their opportunities for growth in the work environment.
I think you're spot on, because definitely women are more impacted by this sudden acceleration of digitalization. Let me start with the transformation of the way we work. Most of the world now has shifted to hybrid workplace, and it's a new standard now as the pandemic, let's say, hopefully is over, but at least in the new way of working. And honestly, I'm really optimistic about how technology can support this progress and bring to all women more flexibility on the way they work, to work from anywhere in a seamless manner, but also to work to adapt their agenda and be much more flexible in when they can work and adapt to their personal agenda. But also this work from anywhere has opened new doors for other jobs, because it opens doors to make things possible. Before, most of us were limited to let's say the activities surrounding us in the same geo. With this new, let's say, hybrid workplace, we can work from anywhere, and we can expand and open to other roles. If I take my own example, we at Dell Technologies, we have been in this kind of hybrid workplace for more than 10 years, and that's how I could, even based in France, I could expand myself and work in the Russian and CIS market. I could travel once a month there and really engage closely with the customers, but also my team. But it's really opened me new opportunities, and I think that that's really what it's opening for women. Another point that I want to make on this one, on the expansion of digitalization, it's about the research we just saw, that by 2030 there will be a global shortage on tech labor, and this it's the shortage will be by 4.3 million. So it's really huge, and it opened a lot of future job opportunities for women. And if I look at already CE region, I think we can be really proud already of some improvements we made. For example, in Bulgaria, Latvia, and Romania, we have a higher percentage of women in STEM education curriculum if we compare to the worldwide education system. And Estonia is considered as the most digital country in the world. So definitely in our region, this digitalization is giving a really huge opportunity to hire more women in the IT industry, but not only. But on the other hand, I would say that the pandemic put even more pressure on this gender gap situation that we were already facing. If we look at the most recent gender gap report from the World Economic Forum, it would take 107 years to close the gender pay gap in our region, in Central and Eastern Europe. Why it would be, let's say, only, if I may say, 54 years in the Western region. So definitely our region needs more, let's say, actions and to really speed up, because we are on this gender pay gap, we are really, really late. I see another risk, which is about the promotion of women in to leadership positions. Today, we see that for every 100 men promoted to the first level of management, only 86 women are promoted. So it explains how, let's say, the representation of women in senior leadership positions is even slowly improving and not really accelerating, because at the beginning, the pipeline is smaller. And what worries me even more is how the pandemic has affected, let's say, the women workforce reduction. I recently discovered in a McKinsey report that there are 2 million women who really considered leaving their job or stepping back from their career during this pandemic and even now. And it's mainly or particularly women who are mothers with young children. So it really put a little more pressure on us to really accelerate our investment in women development to, let's say, get women in our sector, but also retain.
Okay, I think we have some tech issues, so maybe we can just wait.
I think I lost you.
Yeah, now I can hear you. It's okay. Welcome back.
Thank you. I think I lost you, but I don't know at which point I was, because I was talking, you know.
Yeah, we can just continue about you spoke about our region and how we can pursue our careers in these challenging times. But maybe we can continue further with the next question, considering actually the post-pandemic era. And what would be the concrete actions to mitigate those risks you mentioned during the previous answer?
Yeah, and as I said, there are risk and more pressure now on the women in the workforce, because we have let's say more women who really are stepping back in their career. Today I see two main obstacles. The first one is about the unconscious bias. It's really let's say it's really driving us to really step up and really cultivate inclusion in our companies and make sure that we have more diversity in our workforce. The second obstacle and main risk, it's about, I would say, the failure that I see in corporate strategies not including gender equity. That's really what corporations need to set targets, measurable targets, and really be able to share publicly their reports in how they progress in gender equity. So if I talk about the company I work in, at Dell Technologies, we have set ambitious goals and targets that we call moonshot goals. And one of them is that by 2030, 50% of our workforce and 40% of our global people leader will be identified as women. And we are not there. You were mentioning before that when you introduced this discussion that we were at 20% average, let's say, women in the IT. At Dell, we are at 31.8% of our total workforce, which is women. And if we look at the leaders, women represent 25.8% of our leaders. So we are progressing. We are really leading, and really it's a big driver. It's part of our moonshot goal for 2030. But to make it happen is an ongoing process. And the idea we have is that one, we measure it. Second, we implemented concrete actions and activities to really drive the change. It's about mentoring. It's about sponsorship, coaching the women we have today. We have different initiatives. And one of them is what we call Be the Change. It's a series of workshops to open all employees to build an in-depth understanding about bias, which are not only, let's say, gender bias, but also cultural bias. And the idea is really that we want each of us to really expand and understand how to make our teams more diverse. Because being diverse, it's create more creativity in the team. It helps really to innovate and to drive the future, including, let's say, us all together. And one of the sentences that I really like in this kind of, let's say, sessions and workshops, it's when we say, I'm not different from you. I'm different like you. And that's really where we can, this kind of understanding and discussions we can have with our team members is really to make sure that they understand that it's richness to have diverse people, and we are all diverse and all different. Sorry. One thing that we are doing also with this Be the Change series is that we get also it rolled out with our solution partners. We have a big ecosystem of partners at Dell Technologies who let's say, come with us to deliver this technology innovation. And we are really proposing to our partners to be trained on these Be the Change workshops because we think that they are part of our team. And by, let's say, educating us and being more conscious of our bias, it's also something that we want to spread more broader than just our teams. Another point another program that we have in place is what we call Managing Success Map Now. It's really dedicated to the women who are in the mid-career. We select really the high-performance women, and we provide them concrete tools, which are mentoring sessions and a lot of support to really help them to develop professionally, but also personally. And one last one I would like to mention is this program that we have in place for the women who are already leaders to help us bridge this talent gap that we have for, let's say, senior management. It's really a sponsorship program where we provide coaching sessions, and really we call it a diversity leadership accelerator. And it's really helping them to really, let's say, promote themselves differently and really expand the network within the company. Okay, I could explain many more. I could present many more, let's say, programs. But what I really want to highlight here is that I do believe that that's the company that should be a company priority, really to make sure that we drive this change and this workforce equity. As I said, by setting concrete goals and having our leaders really to feel accountable for reaching these goals. And I think that for being accountable, it's about publishing them, let's say, on our websites, and making sure that we really cultivate and drive actions to reach these goals. So I really encourage you to actively participate and actively engage, because the more we speak up and the more we share, the more, let's say, we spread the message and we get people really be conscious about it. I think that as I said, I heard a lot of really great panels and discussions, but let's not keep it between us. Let's really, let's say, share it broader. So I really invite you to join our LinkedIn community, Women in Technologies. We already have 1,000 members, but that's really where we share more and we get, let's say, this message shared and get it, let's say, more visible outside of our community internal at Dell Technologies, because it's really a strong focus for us to drive diversity and to drive inclusion.
Great, thank you very much, and thank you for inviting us in your community, and we are very happy to have you in our AFA community, which is really dedicated to all of this you mentioned, actually for women economic empowerment through innovation and technology. And thank you for your speech. It was a pleasure to talk with you, and especially to hear about such successful Women in Tech initiative at Dell Technologies. Thank you one more time.
Thank you very much.